Heyo, hey, 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 hey. Can you hear me? Oh, oh, oh. Uh, we'll see. I don't know if it's working. Can Can anybody hear me? Whatever. Okay. So, what's beautiful about yoga is that it's so old, but it seems like nobody really knows because I've been practicing yoga for 2020, so almost 20 years, about 18 years, and it's I don't think one teacher has ever gone over the yoga tree, the 8 limbs, with me during a class, a yoga a yoga class. No one's ever said, "Hey, okay, we're gonna talk about this." Oh, hey, that's pretty good. Okay, I like this. Oh, left. Okay, whatever. So, so it's really simple. And I had this epiphany the other day, and I was like, I'm doing it all. I did it. I'm not just doing asana, the postures, which when you sit down to do a pranayam, deep breathing practice, you do an asana, whether it's half lotus, full lotus. Uh, there's so many names for the different ways you can put your legs, and this is part of uh, one of the limbs is self-study. So you're not only going to observe and study yourself, but you're going to, by yourself with no teacher, you're going to research and study. So you're going to find the seat, the posture, the asana that works for you. Um, so I had this epiphany sitting there, and I went deep. It was one of my private morning practices, and I mean, I was, you, and this is another thing. Don't let anybody tell you that you have or have not experienced samadhi. This is one of my biggest pet peeves with yoga teachers or yoga scholars, or which we can get into in another talk. But nobody's going to tell you what your experience is. No one's going to tell you, oh, you have to do this to reach samadhi. I'm going to tell you what you can do to maybe reach samadhi. Or I'm going to give you the tools to give yourself the best chance to reach samadhi. And then you're going to tell, and you're going to understand, and you're going to feel for yourself what that is. This is individual. journey of your soul uh, with the spirit. Nobody else can tell you, and you have to experience it for yourself. So I hope this resonates. I hope you enjoy. Let's get right straight into it. Okay. So the first limb, first branch of the yoga science tree is yama. And I'm going to give general definitions. There's so many, and this all comes from Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is such a deep, amazing, I mean, magical language. There's so many meanings to each letter and word. But I'm just going to give you straight English, simple interpretations. Um, so yama, you can think of it as restraint. Okay, and there's five yamas. The first one we'll talk about is ahimsa, and ahimsa is non-harming. So when you go to practice, when you sit down, you do it in a way that you're comfortable. You don't want to harm yourself. You're going to feel some discomfort at first when you sit for a long period of time. If you haven't before, if you're a little stiff, you're going to feel discomfort. But you should never feel any pain, like, oh my God, I'm hurting myself. Why? Okay? No. In my experience, no. Don't hurt yourself. Uh, don't harm yourself. There's a difference between harm and a little discomfort, because you can find the comfort in discomfort. I always love saying that. It's true. Uh, Satya. Satya is truth telling. You don't want to sit there and lie to yourself and say that you're doing something that you're not. You don't want to say that you. Do you understand? See, and this is, I go back and say, no one can tell you what to do. I'm not telling you what the truth is. I'm telling you what my truth is, and I'm hopefully giving you tools to then find your truth through your practice. Okay, but truth telling, satya. You just want to be honest with yourself. You know, like, do I even? I don't feel like practicing today. Okay, if you really deep down in your heart feel like not practicing, don't practice. Okay, sometimes forcing something that you think is good for you is actually worse than just letting it be and doing what you feel is actually right, what your body needs, what your soul needs, what your mind needs, what your heart needs. So be honest with yourself in your practice, even if you feel like you didn't practice long enough. Hey, you know, there's no time. There's no. You don't have to practice for a certain amount of time. It's what feels right, what's true. Brahmacharya is moderation. Let's say some people say other things, and whatever it is, whether it's eating, sex, uh, smoking, drinking, TV, going to church, praying, uh, doing yoga. You have to do it in moderation, right? The right amount, just the right amount. And that goes in with being honest with yourself. So I really liken this to finding your edge. Um, in the asana, especially when I teach the 26 and 2 hot yoga series, it's all about finding your edge because it's so intense and your breath is so strained and stressed that you have to go so deep within and be so honest with yourself. You say, this is as far as I can go right now. And when you lock into that edge, you find that middle path, that moderation, that's where all the benefits come from. So you find that sweet spot. That's brahmacharya. Astraya. Astraya is non-stealing. So Astraya, um, I liken this to time. And one other thing about time, you don't want to steal too much time, especially from other people, but especially from yourself. And this, I go back to my education in addiction counseling, and a lot of addicts steal so much time from their loved ones and from themselves because they're always trying to either get drugs or they're using drugs, and all in a destructive way. So you don't want to steal time from yourself when you know, I have a deadline. I should be doing something that I've already committed to, but I'm going to practice this 90-minute yoga class instead. Mm, maybe not the best idea, you know. Or my wife needs me, my husband needs me, my child needs me right now. They'll be fine. I'm going to practice because I have to practice. You know, being honest with yourself and finding that middle path, always you can find that balance in time, especially. And then feeling in terms of kind of like a yogic intellectual property thing. Like, is this authentic to me? Is this uh, resonate? Am I trying to be something that I'm not? Am I trying to do something that it doesn't feel right, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I think I can. I think I should. You know, so that's the non-stealing Australia part. Aparigraha. Aparigraha. This is very important when it comes to practicing yogic science. Is non-attachment. So, boom. Oh, I had a wonderful practice. I reached nirvana. I was in samadhi. My third eye was open, and I was connected to God, and I'm so great. No, no, that was beautiful. Thank you. I love you, you know, and ciao. And you let it go and you move on with your day. Because in the end, who I know and who I am are what one of my oldest and most dear teachers said a lot was the householder. He reminded us that we're householders. We're uh, we're people with families and homes and jobs, and we're not living in a palace, you know. And I don't work for a living and all these things. And there are people like that, of course, heiresses and heirs of vast fortunes who never worked a day in their life. Um, but they too, you know, they need this too. It doesn't. It's not just householders, of course, but this is very important um, in terms of shedding the ego and observing yourself and realizing that just because you rock some warrior pose or you reached uh, nirvana in your meditation, that you're some great yogi or something like that. Even my almost 80-year-old Ayurveda teacher, Dr. Prasanna Lad, he too would preach this, and I saw this in his way of teaching, in his way of conducting business and personal um, relationships, non-attachment. You know, you're always grateful, but then if you hold on too long, uh, then it starts to turn sour. You got to let it go. You know, what's that old cliche? If you love something, let it go. Okay, we're gonna keep going. The second branch is niyama, and a general definition is observances. And this is really great because basically one of the highest order of meditation is soham, and in soham, uh, once you are locked in with that mantra, the silent mantra, you can observe the observer. So you are the observed and the observer, and that in and out, that duality becomes one. This is yoga in its essence, and it's a beautiful thing. So niyama, there's five niyamas: saucha, cleanliness. And I'm going to give you the quick, straight answer. When it comes to practice of Ashtanga Pranayam or any yoga, you create a space for yourself and you create it clean, and as a sign. But you, boom, you make it right for you. Not necessarily like you have to scrub everything super shiny. That's nice too. You should clean things, but you should make it simple and clear and clean in yourself too. Simple and clear. Also, uh, especially when I speak of Ayurveda and your dinacharya, which is your daily practice, your daily routine, your life routine, basically. You want to get up, and the first thing you want to do is scrape your tongue. So you clean your tongue, you brush your teeth, you rinse your mouth out, you clean yourself. You drink some hot water, you clean the inside of yourself. Hopefully, you go to the bathroom, one and two, so you clean yourself, and then you practice. You do your pranayama and your asana, or you pray, you meditate, you do whatever your practice is. Um, Santosha. Santosha, I liken this a lot to aparigraha and non-attachment. Um, it is what it is. Like, and I hear my grandfather and my mother a lot as a child just telling me, like, you can be happy with what you have. What you have is great, even if you think otherwise. It doesn't matter what you think. Are you happy? Yeah. Then you're happy. You're happy with what you are, and be happy with your practice, no matter if you think that you were supposed to do something else. Like, you practice what you practiced. We call it practice, not perfect, for a reason. You know, it's practicing a science to then be the artist in your life. It, Yoga science isn't life. Okay, you practice the science to then live and hopefully make yourself happier and healthier and more fulfilled throughout your life. But be content with the practice. Be content with the science. Be content with the experiment, the project, whatever you're doing. I mean, if you choose not to be happy with it, why are you doing it? You know, tapas. Now, tapas has many meanings. You might say tapas. We had tapas last week. But no, tapas in this sense is a zeal for life, I'll say. And I feel like at first it's difficult to understand tapas in terms of a yoga practice, or especially a pranayama practice. Um, when you sit down and your knees hurt and your back hurts, and you forget how many times you did the breath or whatever. But after you push through and you start understanding yourself and why you're doing this practice and connecting in all the different ways, you're going to have a zeal for this practice, a zeal for life, because the results and the changes are almost immediate, at least in my experience. So you're going to have that, like, I want to get up at 5 a.m., I want to go to bed early. I want to do these little things that make big differences. And then, of course, at least the people that I'm close with are so, um, uh, you know, uh, vibrant, and they have you have so much zest and zeal for life already. But what, in my experience, these yogic practices do, they just enhance it. If you are in love with flowers or football or Jesus or you know, um, uh, doing online blogging, you're gonna have even more. It's gonna be like super powers and Technicolor, Ultra HD. Um, so yeah, okay, I'm rambling. uh, Swarida, Swadiyaha, Swadiyaha, and I mentioned that earlier. That's the self-study. Um, I don't know about you, but sometimes I find myself just immersed in things when I discover something and it resonates and I start to put it into practice, and then I just can't not research and self-study. That's when I know I really have something there. It really is resonating, touching something deep inside of me when nobody tells me, oh, you have to study this and take a test. Usually that'll make me put the books somewhere else and forget about it. But yeah, self study is very important. And in terms of reading a little bit, you don't want to just drown in books because yoga philosophy, I'm sorry to say, some of you I know love yoga philosophy, to me is an oxymoron. Um, it's all practice in my eyes. You do a little bit of here, and this is why I'm doing this. You read these general, simple definitions of things to get a good understanding, and then you practice, 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 and be done with it. Okay. Ishwara Pranadana. See, these are hard. Ishwara Pranidhana. And Ishwari is like a deity or god or goddess. It's Ishwara Pranidhana is basically you're surrendering to a higher power. It can be any, um, it can be whatever your belief is in um, the higher power, creator, uh, one of the elements, depending on what, if you practice a religion. Um, Jesus, for a lot of the people I know, um, you would say, oh, yeah, but you grew up Catholic. I grew up Catholic. And then I understand, I studied Christianity. And then I didn't believe in God. And then I started to believe in God. And then I rediscovered Jesus and what Christ means, the chrism, the oral, to be christened, and what the Christ was, and who Yeshua, Yodevahe, uh, Jehovah, all these names. Isa is supposedly the name that Jesus Christ or whatever, Yeshua ben Joseph, went to study with the yogis in Kashmir. So Krishna, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva is very popular. Um, any god, um, any any energy, any feeling, you have to surrender basically to the higher power. This is part of the ego death. It's part of opening and undoing the the I, the I am. You have to go beyond I am and say I am not, and then you don't have to say anything. But this is very important. Some of you might be like, but just try. Just you don't have to say no or yes. Just no or yes. You don't have to say yes or no to any of these things. This is just observe. It is what it is, and through the practice, you will find your Vata Pranidhana. Now, asana, I've already talked about. Asana means posture. Literally, when you sit down and do Ashtanga Pranayam, you're sitting. and that's your posture. Um, any yoga asana, like eagle, you do all these different things, warrior, you, you name it. You've probably done it without even knowing these things as a kid in gym class. So, but when you do Ashtanga Pranayam, you sit down, that's your asana. Pranayama is the fourth limb. And pranayama is basically the control, mindful working of prana through the breath, deep breathing, shallow breathing, alternate breathing, breath holding, and I've talked about these and demonstrated them in the first 3 episodes of Yogadesso on Twitch. I think they're also on YouTube. They're also on the YouTube channel. I've uploaded edited versions. I think they're full still. I had to cut down the live stream from Twitch. Uh, anyway, pranayama. Uh, Prana is the from many of the ancient uh, philosophies. Uh, Prana is the creator energy, creator God, creator of everything. I look at prana as love, and that's why Pranamore Foundation is named Pranamore. Prana and amore. Um, they can be considered different things in different times, different ways, but it's all up to you whether you decide to call it whatever, you know. But my teachers have taught me that prana is not only the essence of what Vata dosha means, which Vata is the ether and air elements in the world and in you. Prana is that essence of that. But prana is the energy that fuels breath. Prana is the energy that fuels the breath. So very important. And Dr. Lad told me that um, you can have breath, very low prana, um, and you can have prana and no breath and still be alive, but you can't have breath and no prana and be alive, or no breath and no prana. So when your body ceases to exist, it's because there's no prana, not breath, but prana is gone. Very interesting. So pranayama to me, that's why I'm doing all this stuff, is the most important yogic practice, exercise. And of course, I named Ashtanga Pranayama because you can do the whole yogic science all in a pranayama practice. The fifth limb of the yogic tree science is pratyahara. Pratyahara is called turning inward, generally speaking. You are cutting off the outside world. Now, um, you can do this in many ways. A lot of people do this in destructive ways. But when you practice Ashtanga Pranayama or any mindful yogic practice, science, you are doing it mindfully. So you're doing it with intention, you're doing it on purpose, with purpose, and you're doing it to better yourself and um, to walk that middle path. So in reality, you can never it, technically you can turn off the senses when you're deep in meditation and samadhi. But you have to be a master, I think, from my experience, what I've read and what I've experienced. Even when I reach some states within my meditations, um, I don't know if my senses and the outside world has been completely turned off. Maybe it has. I don't know. Um, but the act of mindfully saying, "Hey, I'm going inward and I'm focusing inward," that's the act of pratyahara. Simple, you know. You turn your mind, your vision inward on itself. You focus on the inner workings, even your hands and things, your legs, your feet. You're being still. You don't want to try and feel. You're trying to know the feeling from the inside, not feel from the outside to know. Does that make sense? And dharana is the sixth limb. This is very important, dharana, because this is what most of you and most of the time of what I did for many years when I thought I was meditating, I was just concentrating. And uh, almost 99% of the meditation apps and the meditation classes I see online with music and binaural beats and um, you know, yoga, asana, vinyasa, and even hot classes that you're doing asanas. It says concentrate, meditate. You have to concentrate long and hard and very focused with your drifty, your focal point so, so strong for so long to reach a true meditation that a lot of people, especially early in your practice, um, won't get to true meditation. You'll know when you do, and it's a beautiful thing. But a lot of times you're just concentrating, and that's fine. That's beautiful because look, it's a limb of yoga. It is concentration, and you're going to find that concentration, mindful concentration, works wonders outside of your practice. So I'm not knocking the sixth limb. The sixth limb is vital, super vital, because without dharana, you can't get to dhyana. And dhyana is the seventh limb, and that's meditation. And that's when you've gone inward, you're laser beam focused, and nothing can sway you. And you're, when you get in a groove, think of other things. When you're uh, playing a sport, or when you're jamming with the band, or when you're singing in the shower, or dancing with your lover, even having sex, um, you're in a zone, right? And and it's magic. That's meditation, or at least my interpretation of it. And you're not yourself anymore. Your ego is gone. You're not thinking. You're just doing. You're knowing. You're in your knowing. You're in that truth, and you're just rolling. It's like surfing. If you've ever surfed, and you're not thinking about doing it, you're doing it. You're not. You know what I mean. I could go on and on. But if you don't know what I mean, ask me. Let me know because um, it's hard work to fix lens. Darn, concentration is very hard work, and um, hard work pays off, right? So let's see. One second. Funny that I said you're rolling, and then I like stopped altogether. Um, but dhyana concentration meditation is is that is that it's how do I say, it's a seducer. It's sexy because when you taste it, it's maybe like nothing you've ever had before, and then you want more. But it's not easy to get there, and I say it's not easy. In reality, it's not hard either. You just have to put in the work, um, and it won't be work because you'll love it. So that's why it's not hard. You see the cycle of things. Okay, so we got through the seventh limb. Now samadhi is the eighth limb of yoga, and samadhi. I'm just going to come out and say it that all these masters, which I'm not going to question their mastership, um, a lot of them self-proclaimed. I know some masters. I call them a master of what they do because I'm able to observe and differentiate and um, take the ways I know how to deconstruct and come to conclusions. And I say, well, they're a master. Um, it doesn't matter if they think they are or not. What my gathering is that samadhi isn't that far from you. So don't let anyone make you think you can't find nirvana, that you can't be in a blissful state of samadhi. Um, because I'm showing you the simple and practical way to sit down and practice the entire yogic science in half hour. I tend to always end up going about an hour. Um, at first, you find your edge, and if your edge is 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, then that's what you do. And maybe that's not enough to get to samadhi, but that's the steps that you have to take to get to samadhi, maybe a year, 2 years, 15 years down the road. But this is a life practice. This is a lifelong practice. So even one lifetime to reach samadhi is not very long in terms of what eternal life, um, not physical on this earth. I hope, even though this is a beautiful place, um, I'm not sure I want to be here forever. Um, because if you know me, you know I like to travel. But yeah, samadhi. Once I understood myself better, and I understood the science better, and I understood Ayurveda. Okay, that then I understood that samadhi was right here, and I just had to let go inside, concentrate, and find my meditation. Remember the yamas and niyamas, um, and enjoy, basically. Um, and enjoy through the discomfort of your asana. To sit your ass on a comfy chair if you need to at first, and your asana will be less painful, and then slowly work it in. You think that I got into lotus or half lotus for an hour the first time? No. So it took a lot of hard work, but once it's love, it's not hard, and it's not work, and it's joy. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that I'm resonating with someone because this is a joy for me to reach out, and these are strange times, and life is even stranger, but it's beautiful, and I hope that you can share it with someone you know. Reach out. online, in real life, whatever. Have no fear. Love always wins. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. See you next time. Hariom.